What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. This is the last week of phase 3, basically the week 4 training completely. Started off with primary bench. The goal was to not overshoot as we did on last block. We won't go over a weight which would imply that I had to struggle or miss the last rep. So I went safe with 167.5. Really hold myself back from going 170, but I think it was the smarter move. One, because they moved really well, and second, because I was able to also pause the reps quite comfortably on my chest, meaning they were not dirty nor rushed. Quite happy with how it went, and also very happy with the stability I was able to generate and to have on the bottom of the movement. The backoffs were also just straight PRs, right? I believe I did 157 for one backoff 3. That is basically, I believe, just 5 kilos, maybe less than last week's top set, and I believe it might have been even week 2's top set. So very, very pleased with that, as that would be either way 2 PRs basically in the same day, and then moved on to a little bit lighter backoffs and overall finished up bench on this block pretty strongly. I mean, we still have secondary day and tertiary bench day during that week. Yeah, then we moved on to day 2. On day 2, I usually start with squats. Squats were feeling also quite good. My last warm-up with 170 was nice, deep and composed, so I went with 180. 180 is weight, as I said, that I haven't touched in more than now 7 months due to the knee surgery. This moved quite well, very happy, no struggles whatsoever. Went very slow and composed. Previously, my squat style was a bit faster, at least in the descent, and I really need to focus fixing that also for my top sets, so that I do not have so much tension and force my knee in the bottom part of the movement when the force transitions back or is transitioned back into the bar and I want to stand up. The main joint that is active then is basically the knee, and in order to lessen the force on it, it makes sense to tempo the reps a bit more and not rush them or fall into the hole. Even though this leads to also you sacrificing a bit of the useful stretch reflex to bounce back out of the hole. I think in the long run it will pay off to just be strong. Max out on the stretch reflex as much as I could, especially given that I have this, well, I want to say predisposition, but basically this weaker joint or weakness in the chain of joints that are used in this movement, and that is my right knee. After primary squats, we hit our secondary deads on that day. They also moved very well. Top set was no problem whatsoever. Really focused on technique, really focused on getting and pulling the weight off the floor very calmly, to focus on slack pull, focus on pushing with my legs, having my back nice, neutral and sturdy, and also anchoring my hips so that they stay where they are and just move or wedge around this axis to lift the weight off effectively and move it into lockout. Then we move on to the 5th and final day of the week, and that was my tertiary day. I skipped filming my secondary day, as I said before, and that was like 3 count pauses, triples, and then back off 7s with 130. And 130 is a weight that I've never repped for more than 5s, because I usually in the past have not been able or have not pushed for repping or doing a lot of reps on bench, because I feel like the thing on bench is that you can also get out of position quite easily, and therefore pushing a lot of reps has to be built up over time, over a long time period, and so that you do not have to sacrifice technique or run into the issues of maybe injuring yourself because of overuse. Since I do quad work and then tertiary bench first, I then finally get to close out this block with my primary deadlift. So we jumped to 10, to 20, to 30, and now week 4 to 40. Given how last week moved, I was skeptical how well the 240 will move, but we put it on either way. And I have to say, due to my new style of deadlifting, it is slower, yes, because I usually have trouble accelerating the weight off the floor, but the lockouts are very, very easy. I'm basically sacrificing speed off the floor for security of lockout, if you want to put it that way. I will be slow off the floor, and if I fail, I will probably fail halfway up my shins. But once I get past my knees, there is really no stopping, because I can properly use my glutes. I can use my posterior chain. Optimal for me, because I feel like the posterior chain, if anything, has been growing the most over the past few blocks and has been working the most. And one thing, my back offs, and we put on 220 for the first back off, and then I went also considerably lighter. But on the back offs, one thing that was not working that well for this block was also a percentage back off. The problems with percentage back offs are you're always tied to the top set, right? If you have a incremental, very slow way of going up in weight, this is fine usually. But for some athletes, or in my case, if I do bigger jumps, the back offs also linearly increase with that. And if you start going for non-linear jumps and actually exponential jumps, such as doing 5, 10, 15 kilos in your week 4, then the back offs, they move with you, and in my opinion, they move with you too fast. And this is what happened over the block. I constantly had back offs that were way too heavy and they would exhaust me, especially given that I'm doing deadlifts as my third exercise. So they legit killed me. And for next blocks, I will just go for RPE caps, have a RPE set there, say 8 or 7.5, and then move weight according to the juice that is left in the tank at that point in training. Because honestly, there's no point in pushing the back offs too much and being overly fatigued by them, because this is exactly what happened from, for example, especially week 3 on, that I was feeling my lower back over multiple days throughout the weekend. Once not being able to recover, and the recovery phase extends way past the next trainings, that means that you're going into the trainings not recovered, or at least not sufficiently recovered, so that you can at least, manage to go beyond your plateaus and not hit a wall. Also, it drastically reduces your risk of injury if you do not start pushing your back off so much that you are constantly in a state of a lot of fatigue. That was that, guys. Happy with the week. Overall, great block, great phase. Finished it out, and then let's see what next block holds. One of the main goals is, of course, hitting the 200 on squat, hitting above 250 on deadlifts, be it for reps, let's see, and then move something big on bench. Wish you all the love, all the power, have a good one.